society would see you and put you in boxes and make you feel a certain way about yourself. So that took a long time, but I think comedy helped me cope with those, past traumas and whatever. And now I'm okay. I think I'm fine.
Hey everybody, Mark Arinsberg here with the Pure Now Show. This is episode number 31. My guest today is Wee Lay. Wee Lay is an up-and-coming stand-up comedian bringing American-style stand-up to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. He is the leader of the comedy group Saigon Tao and is distinguished by his calm comedy style. Super smart, funny guy. Here we go. What was the quintessential thing that at some point in your life made you even consider the idea of going in this uncharted territory?
Okay, so first of all, it's very personal. I started doing comedy 6 years ago only because I was at that phase, you were going around doing extracurricular activities and finding things to fill in your CV because you don't have actual work experience. So I started with a workshop for stand-up comedy, and then I just kept doing it. I just kept writing. I did shows and people wanted me to do competitions and I did them. And then it just one thing that led to another. And after 3 or 4 years, I realized I'm doing it. But the problem is it's not because I did English comedy first. And Vietnam is a country where I only did it in the expat circles and people wouldn't really know what I've been doing with my life. I mean, my parents don't know what I was doing at the comedy clubs. And it was only a hobby. So up until recently, which is 2 years ago, right at the cusp of COVID happening, I was planning to do shows in Singapore and Thailand, just to start going in places. But that didn't happen, obviously. And then I thought about doing it in Vietnamese, which is, you would think of it and you would be like, no, that's not gonna work because it's too different. But I met friends from my group, Saigon Tao. They all wanted to do, they all started in English, but they all wanted to start doing it in Vietnamese. So we just started pulling together as a group and thinking about how do we bring this art form to the Vietnam community, even though there's so much differences culturally and the way people perceive things. And when I started, it was just normal. We were doing shows in cafes that one of our friends owned, and then people just came for drinks and then, they're talking about something, so let's listen. And after a while with social media, luckily, I wouldn't say luckily because of COVID, but during COVID, a lot of people didn't have a lot of stuff to watch. And I think that was one of the thing that happened. One of the videos got viral-ish, and then one thing led to another. We started getting shows. We started getting a lot of people to our cafe shows. And then we needed to start selling tickets. We needed to start to make a channel and do things. And after a year, I realized, this is happening. This is uncharted territory, but it's happening and there is a need for it. People do want to listen to stand-up comedy. They just don't know what it is yet. So that's when I started to get really serious about planning how to kind of go into this territory and trying everything out and learning in the process to bring a new art form to Vietnamese people.
You've chosen a very noble career, number one. I think it's one of the bravest career moves anyone can make because, until you are established and people come to see you, when you go to comedy clubs, no one's there to see you, man. You're going up there cold, and that audience might be a little drunk. They might not be interested in you just from a pure physical standpoint of looking at you, and you have to continue to deliver that content knowing you could bomb and be good with that, be good with failing. and hope, the laughs are the medicine that you want to get out of the shows, but that doesn't always happen. I want to talk a little bit about that. Give me an idea of your worst show ever.
I feel like there's a couple. So like one, for example, I went to, I think, Cambodia a couple of years back, and I remember I went into this room where people were basically in beanbags, They were like half asleep, and there were like 20 people in the room, and they were all like sitting in their beanbags half asleep. And I remember I took the stage, and after 5 minutes, I swear I could have heard somebody yawning. Or no, I think someone was snoring. Yeah, and I was, oh God. But as a comedian, you have to keep going, and you have to be like, this is fun. I'm not depressed. And then I didn't bomb at this particular event, but I went to a competition in Bangkok like 3 years ago. And I got into the finals, luckily. But when I got into the finals, I had to decide my position in the lineup, because it's a competition. So the person who ranked first got to choose first. And then the person who ranked second, and then third, and then I ranked 9, I think, of the top 10. So when it was my turn, there was only 2 slots left. The first slot is the first slot. And that's like hell. That's like, of course, you're gonna die if you go first in a competition, because it's so much pressure, and also you're gonna be compared with all the other 10 acts like later. And then the second spot is the 8th spot, which is after the 7th spot, which is the spot that the person who ranked first place chose from last night. So I didn't want to go first. So I took the 8th spot, knowing that, oh God, I'm gonna have to follow somebody who's like crazy good. So the night happened, and I went on stage and I performed. And midway into my performance, I was doing a bit about bullying, being bullied as a kid. But it was funny. There's nothing traumatic about that. It was just fun. I said stuff about I used to have uneven legs, so it took me years to stop walking in a circle like that bit. And I forgot my punchline. I forgot it for, I don't know, what felt like a year, but it was probably like 15 seconds of silence. And because I was doing a bit on bullying, I think people thought that I was getting emotional. And that whole silence was me trying to like, okay, what the next punchline? Because when you do a competition, your set has to be super tight. It has to be like punchline. Everything is connected to the next. So I was like, crap. I don't know. My face was just like this, and people were just like, oh no, he's gonna cry. So afterwards, I decided, okay, I'm not gonna remember that punchline. I'm gonna go to the other bit and then get it finished, and whatever. I'm tired. I'm done. I get downstage. The MC, who's my friend, he showed me the phone with the timer. I was allowed to have 10 minutes, like sharp, like no extra minute, because I would get deducted from the scores. The time that I got off stage was 9 minutes, 59 seconds, and 99 cents.
Wow.
So I did not expect anything. I went back downstage, and I was like almost crying. I was like, oh, I messed it up. This is horrible. I'm a bad comedian. I can't. And then I heard my name, and I got second place. So
wow.
So I was on this roller coaster of emotion, because everyone looked at me and it's like, oh, you got second place, and my face was like this. Did you guys know I messed up? No.
So you still haven't even told me a bona fide bomb yet.
I know.
You haven't bombed yet.
It felt like a big bomb.
You
for
internally
me.
bombed.
Yeah, internally
I
bombed. Yeah.